Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I loved your piece about the clitoris. I showed it to my mother. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister, the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, friend.
Lunatic fridge.
More impressions, please. But wait, there's more. Joining us is our podcasting brother from another mother, Adam Riske from F This Movie. Hello, friend.
Do you think in 2022 they would have changed the name of this movie just to Licorice Swain?
I think so. I love that you brought that up because I did think of that movie when I was watching this movie. We are dorking out about 1985's Vision Quest. I didn't know this was based on a book. I suspect Margo already knew this, but I did not.
Mm-mm.
No, you didn't know? 1979 novel by the same name, written by Terry Davis, and it's directed by Harold Becker, who also did Malice and Sea of Love, and I know Adam Riske's favorite, The Boost, because you love drug movies.
The Booze? What's the
The
Booze?
Boost?
Oh, the
Boost.
Boost.
Yeah.
Is that with James Woods?
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it. I've heard of it. I thought you were going to say Adam Riske's favorite, Domestic Disturbance, because I'm that movie's only fan.
I didn't know that about you. Now I know.
And Mercury Rising was one of his, and that was a big deal when I was growing up because it shot in Chicago, and people were excited that Bruce Willis was here.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
This one stars my boyfriend, Matthew Modine, Linda Fiorentino, Ronny Cox, Daphne Zuniga, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Zuniga.
good job.
Yeah.
Madonna's in there. Michael
Mhm.
Schoeffling. Correct me, Margo.
Schofling.
Yeah, see,
Was
always
he
wrong.
the guy from 16 Candles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Who
always
may
Jake
or may not
Ryan.
be Native American in this.
Huge crush of mine at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, he's always Jake Ryan to me. Sorry, actor whose name I can't pronounce. You're just Jake Ryan to me. So I am pretty sure Adam did not see this in the theater.
I wish I did, but no.
Margo, did you
Were
see
you-
it in the theater?
No, Adam, were your parents even together at this point, or no?
My parents?
Were they even do they even know each other? It's 85.
They had known each other for about 17 years. So yeah, it's not that old.
I don't know.
No,
Before-
I was 3 when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or 2, because I think it came out early in 85. But yeah,
I always think you're born in the 90s. So I forget you're born in the 80s.
No, I just am immature.
No, I had the I had the soundtrack for this. I had the tape and the album because I
Nice.
loved it so much. Yeah.
Nice, you needed a backup. This was like
did.
backing up your server, but in the 80s.
Mhm.
The 80s version of backing up your server because I tended to leave things in the dashboard or outside and it would get destroyed. But I didn't see this in the movie theater because I thought it looked kind of boring. And I liked the Karate Kid. It has a lot of the same beats as the Karate Kid.
Mhm.
But anyway,
I definitely
Yeah,
saw
no.
it in the theater because,
with your mom.
yeah, with my mom. My mom and I went to the movies every Sunday, so we saw this. And honestly, at the time, I was probably just really excited to see Madonna. Loved Madonna, and she was huge at this time.
Can you imagine? So they filmed this in 83 or 84. She was just getting started, right?
Yeah.
Here she is in this little podunk club in Spokane, Washington. And here she comes and she does these songs. And she's great in the movie. I mean, she's just not
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah, I mean, she's in it for like 5 seconds, but that was
Right.
you would think
But her
she was a
charisma.
co-star. You would think she was a
Right.
co-star by the
But
marketing.
her charisma is just kind of out there. Like that audience must have been excited, I think. Like they must have known something. She was special.
And then Harold Becker directed music video incarnations of The Gambler and Crazy for You from
Mhm.
Yes.
this movie. So they must have like just used some. I remember the Crazy for You video. I don't think I ever saw the video for The Gambler, but they used like clips from throughout the movie, but it's like interspliced with her performing,
Yeah.
like that footage. Yeah.
Yeah. That song was like the makeout song, like for all the parties and the dances.
I love that
Crazy
song.
for You.
I still love
It's
it.
a great
Totally.
song.
Yeah, it's a great, great song.
It's so good.
Yeah. This movie got me into the Style Council, which has a song called Shout to the Top that's really good. I remember after I saw this movie the first time, which wasn't too long ago, it was probably within the last 5 years or so. I checked out the soundtrack from the library and got hooked on it. And then I went to a used record store and I bought the LP of it and listened to it many times during White Sox games in 2020.
This soundtrack
What's your favorite song on it?
Oh, yeah.
It's the Madonna one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just watching the movie again, the soundtrack, I listened to it so much back in the day. Like the Journey song, Only the Young. I forgot how much I loved John Waite's Change. I immediately
John Waite was dope, and that song is incredible.
Yeah. I immediately went and added it to my playlist. I was like, this song is awesome. I totally forgot.
And the Babies, when he was with the Babies.
So good.
Every time I think of you. Every time.
I love it when Margo sings. I mean, they use Lunatic Fringe 4 times in this movie. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
8 times. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
I love that song.
I do like when there's. Usually, it's just there's the movie having a single, and then they might use it as instrumental throughout the movie, and then they'll play the full song at the end of the movie. But they do that with only the young, and then they do that with Crazy for You.
Yes.
Also, it's interesting that they do it with multiple songs where they weave it into the score.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's the MTV influence on movies
for sure.
Yeah,
which I wish would come back.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Because now it's Thor, Love and Thunder, regurgitating Guns N' Roses songs and somehow making Guns N' Roses not cool.
Yeah. Which is a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing the instrumental section of November Rain and it's a bunch of Thor children fighting goblins, I'm we fucked up. We've ruined
we have
everything.
fucked up as a culture.
I'm we've ruined everything.
We're the worst.
Yeah. Do you all have Shrek raves in San Francisco and New York? I've been meaning to ask you about this.
I'm sorry. Could you ask that one more time?
There's 20-somethings have raves that are themed around the movie Shrek.
I don't know
if
any
this
20-somethings.
This exists, I don't know about it. And I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, they have stuff where it's there'll be a DJ and it's stay out of my swamp, 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 swamp. And they'll start stage diving and there's people in inflatable gingerbread man costumes and there's girls dressed all green like they're Fiona, and so it's very weird.
Does anybody just yell donkey?
I'm sure they
must
to. Yeah, I mean, I get it because these adults were children and grew up on Shrek, but I just think it's so funny that it's Gen Z's so lost that they have Shrek raves and the Gentle Minions movement and stuff. It's what did we do to culture?
I'm writing down Shrek raves.
If you were going to do a Vision Quest rave, what would that entail? I'm going to see so
wrestling.
Show wrestling. We have that. So we have the wrestling uniform, and it's very different. And we have. So let's talk about the plot.
Yeah.
So Michael. I'm sorry. Our lead. Sorry, Matthew Modine. Sonia's new boyfriend. He's been married since 1980, by the way. So
damn it!
I think he's off the market. He's keeping it tight, y'all. Though he looks great.
He looks great.
He looks great, but he's playing a high school student. He's 23, 24, but he's playing a high school student who's getting thinner. He's losing weight. He's losing over 20 pounds.
That's bananas, by the way. He's 6'3". So the idea that he would get down, get down to 168 is, that's
really, really small.
Yeah.
And so he says, we would say he has disordered eating. He's very, I'm sure his brain's just going food all the time.
Yeah.
He wears this suit that he loses weight with, which is what Martin Lawrence won. Remember when Martin Lawrence went jogging?
Oh, that's right.
In LA and he passed out because he was trying to lose weight. He wore one of those suits. Yeah. So he's running around and he's in Spokane, which looks beautiful and sad at the same time. Like Pittsburgh looks like that in movies.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think about is, do you think Kurt Cobain was? I kept looking for Kurt Cobain. I'm like, is he there? Is he like behind that corner? Is he in that crowd with Madonna? But he's a wrestling senior. He's looking to get a scholarship. His dad is Ronny Cox, occasionally employed at the garage.
Yeah.
And he's instead of gaining weight to fight a bigger guy, because once again, he's 6'3" and a good wrestler. He wants to slim down to fight the Cooch.
Shoot. Cooch is his friend.
Cooch is Michael Schofling?
Yeah.
Now, isn't Cooch a nickname for
Yep.
your bukkake?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't they call it a coos at one point?
Yeah, they do.
Movie? Yeah. So
There's
like
lots
they're
of words for it.
it's like they realized that like they can't say cooch for both things, so they're just like
Yeah, Italian's bukkake. So there's a lot of people in this movie too.
Yeah.
But Daphne Zuniga is like somebody who has a crush on him.
I get
and
it.
She's adorable.
Adorable. Everybody drink.
Yeah.
Everybody drink. There's
Yeah.
a scene where he works at a hotel and he delivers room service. And do you know that scene where he's in the room with the guy
Yeah.
who like grabs his dick?
yeah.
They're doing Tai Chi together. He becomes friends with Michael Schofling, who for some reason has not just the mohawk, but does the whole rigmarole as an indigenous person.
Yeah.
And that's a whole storyline that doesn't really make sense.
It's so weird because he says he's half. They say in the movie Indian, so obviously it's Native American. And then like later in the movie, he's like, I made it up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, did he make it up just because he kind of wanted to feel special? He needed it first because they also there's weird beats in this movie where because the Matthew Modine character shows up at his house and the dad is like smacking Cooch around and clearly he has a very troubled home. So I'm like, did he make this up because he's just
unhappy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I read into it. Whereas he came up with this kind of persona to like mask what was really going on in his home life.
They would, I mean, just being punk would be enough. He didn't have to. But that's, I guess, maybe that was in the book. And anyway, but the whole time he's trying to get down to 168 pounds. That's what he thinks about all the time. And then Linda Fiorentino is a gal from Trenton, New Jersey, y'all, which is near Philadelphia.
Jersey girl.
Jersey girl. Beautiful. This is her first film. And she's driving cross country. She's north of San Francisco. That's where she's headed.
Yeah.
But her car breaks down. And then Ronny Cox is working for a guy at his garage and the guy's ripping her off. So he punches him out.
Yes.
And then so she moves in with them because the wife, his mother, left them.
Yes.
And so Matthew Modine lives in the basement and she takes over his room and then she immediately gets a job and she's there for a really long time to save up money to fix her car. And he has a big crush on her and one of the teachers at his school dates her for like a second and he attempts to assault her at one point.
That's another one of those beats where I was like, what are we doing here? Because there's some really good stuff in this movie.
Yeah, they did that in Saturday Night Fever. Also.
Yes,
it was like a weird thing back then. I don't know.
Yeah, because I really like Matthew Modine in this movie. Like he is he is probably a little too old to be playing a teenager, but I feel like the mannerisms and the personality is pretty close to a teenager. I like that
he's idealistic.
Yeah, I like how
naivete to him.
Yeah, and I like that he's Matt. And we have a long lost episode about Married to the Mob that accidentally didn't record. I like Matthew Modine. I think he's a very like in this character and Married to the Mob too. He's like kind of goofy and awkward and weird, and I like that version of Matthew Modine more so than when we did Pacific Heights. I don't really like that kind of Modine. I like this kind of Modine, but I like how curious his character is. He asks a lot of questions. He's he loves to talk to different people. I like his relationship with the chef very much. I think it's, as I think a lot of us, when we work in these jobs as teenagers, we do like come across other adults who are still working in those jobs, and we develop kind of these interesting, I don't want to say mentor relationships, but it's when you're friends with an adult who isn't your parent, and you learn so much from them. I like that very much in this. And there's just this really good stuff in there. But then there's the whole thing where he assaults her, and I'm like, that takes me out of the movie and pisses me off.
He acts like it's you belong to me now because I want you.
Yes.
And she has no age, and she has no agency over herself. She's not allowed to, and it's like she's 3 years older than you. She's an adult.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. There's a big difference between 18 and 21.
Yeah.
And she should, but anyway, she forgives him, and how does she afford these? She's really this broke. She's an artist. She has really nice clothes. Really great outfits. I love the cloche, the hat that she wears to the wrestling match.
I would wear that.
I totally would too. I mean, she looks great in this. I mean, she's very, very beautiful. She's very photogenic.
I feel like she was someone who was born old. Is it that voice?
And Kathy Moriarty, that toughness.
Yes.
Like they were never a child.
Yeah. I was reading a Roger Ebert's review, and he had like a couple interesting like observations about both of their performances, which I thought kind of hit the nail on the head. Like he said with her, just as like an actor, she has like this deliberate objectiveness to like how she speaks, and it like makes you kind of like pay attention to everything she's saying. Mm-hmm. Like she's got no time for like filler words or or anything like that. Like every word she says counts. And with him, he said that because the movie is essentially like a sports formula, movie, he said that like the Matthew Modine character was probably written a lot less interesting than it actually comes across on screen. And a lot of that is because like Modine finds this like weird energy to play it with. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with that. Like he feels like a real person, which is something to be commended in like, a stock like sports movie. He just kind of has like, the way I could describe it is like he reminds me of like when you hire like a personal trainer where they're like real rah-rah and just kind of like upbeat all the time and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the vibe that I get from him.
He's also young. I mean, he's healthy. He's got his future ahead of him. Mm-hmm. He's in good shape.
He's got a Zuniga in the wings. I mean, come on.
Oh my God.
Zuniga right in the wings. Like she's ready.
Did you ever see Gross Anatomy with the two of them?
No, I don't think I have.
I saw it in the theater, but I haven't seen it since then.
That's one of those movies where I was like, 6 or 7, where I was just like, there's, I'm not going to end up seeing this, but like I've always wanted to because I was curious about it back then. So
I just remember her from Melrose Place. She was really good in that. Oh, and also, what's the movie she did with John Cusack?
The Sure Thing,
which is amazing.
So amazing, and she's great in that.
Love that movie.
But she's really cute in this movie. She's completely. She works for the newspaper?
Yeah.
She's the reporter, and she's got this huge ass crush on him. And he's got the whole world ahead of him, but he's choosing the toughest thing, which is I'm going to wrestle the tough, Shoot is his name?
Shoot. Yeah.
Who's
great name.
It's a good name actually for like a
dude doesn't look he doesn't look 168 to me. He looks very heavy and strong, and they establish what a monster. Yeah, and they establish what a monster he is by like he's carrying a huge fucking tree like up the bleachers of the stadium because that's how he works out.
Matrix and Commando.
Yeah,
I do love the name Shoot because it's like if you immediately needed a character name to describe like the state champion wrestler, it's just like, because anytime somebody's just like, oh, he's gonna wrestle Shoot, it's like, wow, he's wrestling Shoot.
Yes.
Yeah. It wouldn't work if his name was like Binky or something. It wouldn't have the same.
It's like Bob Pinky.
He's wrestling Pinky.
It wouldn't have the same. There's some great shots of Spokane at night, like a lot of, on the motorcycle and stuff. I mean, it's a slow picture. They kind of let it just sort of take its time, which is probably why it took you a while to finish it this morning. Adam, I think, like you were saying, you had some fits and starts with it.
Yeah, well, I got high last night though, so it had nothing to do with the movie.
Because I got high.
But the movie, this was like maybe my third time saying it.
Yeah.
I watched it so much back in the day. Like, I'm sure I taped it off of HBO and watched it because I loved the music so much. It had, to me, it was about teenagers, even though everyone is clearly not a teenager in this movie.
It's about your early 20s, let's be clear. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about their relationship? What do you think about? Yeah.
It reminds me of like Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis in Top Gun, where I'm just like, this will last like 30 minutes after the movie ends. And then it's yeah. It never felt like, I don't know. It felt like something that, maybe he'll have fond memories about until he's like 25 and she'll forget by the time she's out of Spokane.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never understood. Well, I didn't understand, I should say, on this rewatch, why she hooks up with him at all. Like, as young Sonia, I was like, young Sonia was like, of course they're gonna hook up because that's the movie.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't really get it. Like, she seems a little bit more worldly than him. And I mean, maybe, and he is very nice, and he asks her a lot of questions, and he's pretty sweet to her until he
tries to rape her.
Exactly.
It demands her, bukkak. But she says, I think it's also the breaking in a virgin, that somebody that you live with would be uncomfortable, because that would be a real bummer.
I mean, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But she gets absorbed into the family too. Like, they go to see the father. That's actually the old man in Home Alone.
Yeah, talk about another dude who's just born old. Like,
yes.
I mean, just always playing the old man.
Yeah.
His name's like Paisley or something, right? And
I wrote it down.
The actor.
You mean Robert's Blossom?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Always playing old man.
I'll always remember Robert's Blossom because when I was a kid, I thought that it was a typo on the credits of Home Alone. I'm like, his name is Robert Blossom, but they wrote it wrong. And then it took me to like the internet days and IMDb, and the first thing I looked up on the internet.
Was that in 1993? That was the first thing. Click, click, click.
Exactly. Oh, I had it much later than that. I think it was like 95, 96, something like that. Yeah.
There's just, the relation. Adam mentioned Licorice Pizza at the start. And this age difference works better for me than Licorice Pizza, where she is 25, 28.
Yeah.
I forget.
I think she's lying. And I think that's why it doesn't seem as gross to me. I don't think she's 25, really.
What do you think she is?
I think she's probably like 18 or 19 or 20.
Really?
Yeah. Because
you're talking about Licorice Pizza, right?
In Licorice Pizza. Yeah. Because there's certain things, and I didn't think this on my own, but I was reading about it somewhere, so I have to give credit wherever that is. But somebody said like just the way she orders drinks and just kind of the way she acts around other adults and like the way that like when Bradley Cooper asks her how old she is, she doesn't get it right. She has to like correct herself. So I think it's like she's maybe pretending to be older than she is. I don't think she's like a high schooler or anything though.
Interesting.
It's still not street legal.
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this movie she says she's 21. In Vision Quest, and
which I almost believe more that she's 25.
Yeah,
she's 21.
Yeah.
Once again, Linda Fiorentino definitely born old. Like,
yeah,
she's just one of those people.
She could have been in a film noir star in the 40s. She just has that smoldering quality about her, which is what was used very well in The Last Seduction, which was like her big breakout moment.
And maybe why she wasn't such a match for Men in Black.
Yeah.
She's very confusing to me in that movie, but I still like her. It's just weird casting to me.
Yeah. But then there's the big match.
Yeah.
And everybody's really into it, and all of his friends show up, and she shows up for it as well. I mean, I wonder, like, I get his attraction to her, and he's very cute, of course. And you and I've talked about this, you know, the height thing. He's tall and he's built and he's athletic, but
that's true. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
But he's a virgin, and he's really young, and you're living with him.
Yeah.
And his father. And his father like did you a solid. And maybe she thinks she's repaying the favor. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. They've been through some trauma.
They've been through... Yeah. It's such like a movie thing of like how she ends up with them.
Yeah.
I wish that and I don't know if it's the same as it was in the book, but I wish there was some other way that they established kind of how they all came into each other's lives. It feels very contrived.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, like, because the whole point of the movie is not so much the plot, it's like the character relationships, and I think that's what works really well. So it's like, who cares? You know, it's like winning a baseball game, but like you made an error. It's like, who gives a shit about the error anymore?
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I did want to mention before I forget, there's one part in the wrestling match at the end that bothers me like half as much as like him trying to assault Linda Fiorentino. It's when he invites the guy from the hotel, the cook and stuff. And he gives that asinine speech in the hotel room about Pele, which is like, like touched by a simp. I don't know. So like, and then they show a part where it's in the middle of like the 6-minute wrestling match, and like they cut to the guy and he's cheering, and then like there's a girl in front of him who's cheering but standing up, and he kind of like yells like sit down, and he like pushes her down.
Oh,
did you notice that?
No, I don't know that.
It's weird. Like it's a very weird like 3-second bit where I'm just like, oh, this guy's such a prick. What's going on?
Well, that's why he's alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he's a cook in a kitchen. Nobody will go near him. Did you see that kitchen? Like,
yeah, what's going on in the kitchen? Where is everybody else?
It's not very busy, is it?
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
That's why. He's a prick.
One of the things.
Like, yeah, maybe he has like multiple personalities.
Maybe. There's a whole thing in this movie where the coach is, you know, doesn't want him to lose all this weight, and then he's like, fine, you can do it, and then Loudon faints in the hallway, and then the coach tells him again, you need to wrestle at your own weight, and he's like, and he leaves, and then he goes and does the climbing thing to John Wade's, and like the minute he does that, then all of a sudden the whole team is like, yeah, you could do it. Lose all that weight and wrestle that monster. Like it's this
Who gives
weird
a shit about your heart?
There's just these weird things in the movie that, like, there's this whole character, like, because there's like a bully in that group that's like has new respect for him because he can do the climbing thing. And I think shortly after that is where Loudon's like, I'm going to write a paper about the clitoris for the school paper. And I'm like, what?
And people don't know what things are. I mean, maybe they were super naive then, but
there were no stories about the clitoris in my school paper. That's weird.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Not ones that were that well written.
Definitely not good enough to show my mother. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Just
Oh boy,
Strange
that's
things.
fun. That's funny because what if Zuniga and him start dating and it's just like, "Hi, ma'am, it's nice to meet you," and then his mother's just like, "I feel like I know you already."
I 100% assume that they start dating. Like, I think that that's
Yeah,
almost the
I hope
whole
so.
point of her characters, to show that, like, that's who he should be with. But
Yeah.
he's gonna pursue Carla first, and then I think that, he'll end up dating her for sure.
I just had a thought that I hope doesn't ruin the movie for anyone, but this movie almost makes more sense if Linda Fiorentino is Mary Poppins.
Oh my
She
God.
just needs an
That's what it
umbrella.
is. That's what it is. She's Mary Poppins. She's
And then
Mary.
at the
She's
end, she just,
what? There's,
at the end, she's just like, "My work's done," and
Yes.
then she flies.
it's Mary Fuckins.
Yeah.
I popped his cherry. Time to go.
Mary Poppin Daddies.
Oh my God. I like how Margo wrote the dirty, like, adult version, the Spice Channel version of this. That's what Mary Poppins is.
You haven't ruined the movie. This is.
It made it better.
You just made
actually.
it better for me, actually. I'm like, I'm going to rewatch it before my rent expires. So good.
She truly serves like no other purpose except for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
She's kind of got like a secretive history herself, and she's there, and she kind of just, makes a positive impact on everybody's life. She's cooking breakfast. She's, helping boys become men figuratively and, in love. Yeah, she's Mary Poppins.
No,
You fixed this movie. You fixed
you
it.
did.
It didn't need fixing. It definitely, I didn't think of it until, I think what tipped me off was you had mentioned like the cute wardrobe she has at the wrestling match, and that's kind of the most Mary Poppins she's dressed as during the movie.
Yeah, because that's very 1920s. Like that whole outfit.
Yeah, because before she sort of has like a Bruce Springsteen, Joan Jett thing going on.
Yes,
Mm.
very, very, yeah.
Oh my
early
God, she
80s.
would have been so good at playing Joan Jett.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm going through my notes to make sure I mentioned everything.
It was a good graduating class with Modine and Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, they have some. Yeah, Forrest Whitaker's in this movie. I was like, holy shit.
Does he have any lines other than "Go, you can do it"?
No, he's just in the background.
Yeah, I think he might have like one or two lines like at some point, like during wrestling drills where he's like goading people, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out like Harold Sylvester, he's the teacher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like what else has he's been in? Because he looks really familiar to me.
I looked it up earlier, but I can't remember.
But he gets really mad at him because he goes on a date with her or something. He's like super like, hey, she's mine.
mhm.
Yeah, that part is, well, and all of that stuff is shitty. His like thing that he somehow is possessive of her, but also that's so teenager.
That's a
Yeah.
teenager's idea too. Yeah, that's true.
Like it's
So-
not comfortable to watch, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's most likely true.
It says Harold Sylvester is best known for Inner Space,
Oh.
Uncommon Valor, and An Officer and a Gentleman.
I feel like Inner Space has been on our list for a long time.
And it says the soundtrack to Raising Helen, where he performed Jingle Bells.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
He was on Married with Children. Maybe that's where it was from.
Okay.
He looks really familiar to me for some reason. Like I know I've seen him on something. He's on one of those shows that I watched a lot or something.
Was it
Anyway.
Married with Children? He was on 44 episodes of Married with Children. I think he worked with Ed O'Neill at the shoe store, if my memory.
That must have been it.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever go to a high school wrestling match?
No, it's very popular here though.
Is it?
I don't know about in this movie. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't even know if we had a wrestling team. I mean, we probably did, but I don't recall ever going to a match.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like, I only had a couple friends who were jocks, and like, because I hung out mostly with like theater kids. But yeah, I don't think I remember going to like a gymnastics thing, but I don't think I ever went to a wrestling thing. It seems like a not fun sport to be in.
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
You have to like, yeah, just be like real diligent about your diet all the time, and like people are pressing your head into mats and things
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
like, you have to touch people. No, thanks.
Yeah.
and they're very sweaty and smelly.
Yeah.
How often do you think somebody farts in your face?
I assume that's every time,
Once
Right?
every season.
at least.
Yeah.
It's like you want it to happen in the first match because then you know it's out of the way for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
No, I don't really like the final wrestling match as drama because I don't know if it's just I don't know the rules well enough or what, but like
Same.
if you look at it like counterpoint to Karate Kid, it just however they edit that sequence or they shoot it or whatever, it just seems a lot more clear of like this is points, these are the things that will disqualify you. This is like the build up to like getting up to the number of points in order to win. And with this, it just seems like I know they have like an announcer who says like, you know, he's down by 4 and there's like 16 seconds left and everything like that. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, like there's one where
No,
like,
that's a good
like
point.
body slams him, and it's just like, shouldn't that be like 20 points?
That's a really good
They-
point. They don't
They
explain.
explain it much better in the Karate Kid, and it's Elizabeth
Yeah.
Shue does that
Yeah.
exposition, but it's much clearer.
Yeah.
Also, the stakes are a little different too, because like with Loudon Swain, he's like, with the exception of that, like Cro-Mag, like on his team, who he eventually wins over by doing like that exercise in the gym that you were mentioning. Like he doesn't really have any adversaries, so to speak. Like even Shoot, it's just like I respect Shoot, and like he's like the hurdle I need to get over to be the best. But it's not like it's like, you know, they might push and shove each other a little bit at the weigh-in, but it's not like how the Cobra Kai were like terrorizing Daniel.
Right.
So that win felt, and granted, I mean, the Karate Kid is like a classic,
Right.
But like,
Yeah.
I mean, but like, yeah, that's why it was so satisfying. It's just like these guys are bad people, and it's like, with the exception, I guess, of William Zabka, like they're never going to learn. So
Do you watch Cobra Kai, the Netflix?
I
Show?
watched enough of it where I should I should probably continue. Like I saw the first 3 seasons, and I think they're on season 5 now.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it, and
Yeah.
I find it very satisfying. I'm into that world, and yeah. They almost killed Daniel in high school. Like they're
Mhm.
really bad dudes. Like Cobra Kai. Like there are stakes there, and it's a big deal for him to win. He wins a lot more. He gets. I mean, this guy does Loudon. If he doesn't beat him, he doesn't get the scholarship. Is that the whole thing?
They
I don't
kind
even
of
think it's-
allude to it that like he was a sure thing to get the scholarship if he stayed at his original weight.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that by doing this, he's like basically like rolling the dice on everything. And I'm guessing because he's the state champion at 168, which they say is like the toughest wrestling division, he'll probably be like a shoe-in to get a scholarship. Because didn't they say like in the ending voiceover he went to like Washington State or something? I can't remember.
Oh right, there's a voiceover. Oh, it's weird voiceover too. It's like a
It
voiceover
is.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
epilogue.
it has this whole thing about like taking your chances because you're
And
gonna
it's a freeze frame shot.
because you
right?
might
Yeah, they-
because you're gonna die. Basically, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they try to tie it back to the poem that he reads and analyzes in class, but it's like, oh, that was the theme.
Yeah,
it's like when I watch like Wind River with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, and you watch the entire movie, and then they have like an ending, like, you know, card, like text card, and they like explain what the theme of the movie was, and I'm just like, that's what this was about. It's like,
Yeah,
So,
that it's
yeah.
a weird thing.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, I really like this movie. I just like Harold Becker's like way of just kind of meat and potatoes, like making a movie. Like, I don't think this is as good as, I still think like Malice and Sea of Love are like terrific movies.
Yeah.
But and this one's like like a really good sports movie and like just a good movie overall. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it kind of goes to show, and it's something that's sort of lost in movies now. It's just like, if you've got charismatic performers that like can really, you know, take you over a lot of things that are maybe lacking in the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's also it's the influence of MTV, but in a good way, done well.
Yeah.
And yeah, the charismatic performances. I think it's an interesting location. We don't see that often in movies, and I think it's nice to see. I don't need to see another wrestling movie. This kind of wrestling anyway, like, you know, WWE kind of wrestling. Yeah, or Glow. That's cool. But this wrestling, that's such a great series. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anytime they play Lunatic Fringe, I'm fine. I'm in for it. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. I've decided, Sonia, if you outlive me at my funeral, they need to play this song.
All right, right.
You need to make sure that
writing
you
it down.
need to make sure that
Funeral, Margo, Lunatic Fringe. All right, it's in my notes.
Red Rider. Yep. Tom Cochran, the singer.
It's like, it's skipping. I guess we're gonna have to play The Gambler.
We could pick it up. We could just put on the soundtrack. Actually,
yeah.
We'll bring Adam's album. Put on a turntable.
You could play only the young for me.
Yes, all of it.
All right, this is kind of a joke, and it's kind of like a Seinfeld observation, but like I feel like it's the only time I could ever say this. Have you ever been to like a wake where they're playing a song and then you're just like, well, that song's ruined?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't happen with the Vision Quest soundtrack.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Mine was it was an Adele song that somebody played, and I was like, well, I'll never be listening to that song again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It makes me horribly sad now when I hear it.
Right. Oh, totally. Yeah. I used to have a joke with my high school friends that whoever goes into the ground first, they play the like end Jurassic Park theme.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I love that Tanya Harding, is that who it was? Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
When she was at the Olympics, you know, she whacked her knee or had her knee whacked. Or didn't know about it. Either way. But that her music that she used was the theme to Jurassic Park at the Olympics. Like,
that was Tanya Harding?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it is a really good soundtrack.
I don't know if I've ever, not to be story guy, but like, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like, I was at this really, really rando like autograph show. This was like 15 years ago. And it had like Leslie Nielsen and like Mickey Rooney and Tanya Harding.
Oh my God.
What kind of show is this?
It was called like the Hollywood Celebrity Show, and they have like one in LA and one in Chicago, but it was like Chicago, like Rosemont, like by the airport. And when I've never seen anything like this before or since, but like when Tanya Harding was walking down an aisle, like to leave the salon or ballroom where like the autograph signings were, and she was just like walking to like go into the lobby or whatever, people like instinctively like backed away. Like they gave her plenty of room.
Was
and
Sean
I felt
Lily with her? Or...
No, but I felt at one point like it just kind of, I get it, but like at another point I just felt like, man, she must get that like all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure she does, and I feel bad. I do. I think she's had like some real fucked up stuff. I just thought she's such a bizarre character, like she's had such a bizarre story in her life. It's just that here she is at the Olympics. She finally makes it. It's this whack ass moment. Her husband, soon to be ex-husband, comes up with this fracacta plan that they're gonna, whack her knee, and then she's gonna get there, and not Nancy. They're on the ice. It's her big fucking moment, and they're playing the music from Jurassic Park, and she starts to do it, and then she starts crying, and then she goes over to the judges, and she's like, her shoelace broke, and she's like crying and crying, and so they let her do it again. It's just like, it was such a bizarre set of circumstances, and I always just kind of thought, she did the theme to Jurassic Park? Like, that was your music?
Mm-hmm.
It's really good music, though.
I think it works better for a funeral. I think that's actually, yeah.
It's more triumphant. Like, I want people to leave my funeral being like, huh, that was a good movie.
I'm a gambler. You can't stop me now.
Such good impressions.
She looked like she was out of breath a couple of times when she was doing that show. Yeah.
Speaking of impressions, the scene of Matthew Modine weighing in, and he like takes off all his clothes and breathes out. That is 100% me stepping on a scale. Like, when I'm doing Weight Watchers, I'm like, this is it. Did you subtract 10 pounds for your shirt? Like, take everything off. Well, very relatable moment for me.
Mm-hmm. No, I have that like at the doctor's office where they like want to weigh you, and it's like, you're taking into account the belt and the keys and everything, right?
I hate weighing in at the doctor's. It's like the most humbling experience. Like, just ask me what I weigh so I can lie to you.
How about like when you have to do the urine test? So you have to like, at my doctor, the bathroom is upstairs, so you have to like go down the hall, up these stairs, and then come back with a paper bag. It's just kind of like, this is just me and my urine.
You put your urine in a paper bag? They don't give you a cup?
They give you a cup. They give you a paper bag to put. It's in a paper. It's in a cup, but the cup is in a paper bag. But it's not like me and my lunch. It's me and my urine. But it's just kind of like,
that's why I'm on Blue Cross Blue Shield. They give me a cup.
That's what I get. It's just kind of like,
I'm not covered for a cup.
I don't get a lid. I just get the cup, so I have to walk really carefully.
In 2023, we're getting paper bags instead of plastic bags. I want to see like the one person who like goes to the doctor and stands on the scale, and it's just like, I'm sorry, you're massively unhealthy, and then they take off their belt and they're like, actually, you're normal now.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some of the other movies that came out in 1985?
Yeah.
Okay. Tough Turf.
We got to cover that one day.
We are going to.
Spader, right?
Yeah. Movie's fucking
Spader.
Weird. I watched it with some friends last year, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie? It is bizarre. It's like drama, then there's some action, then there's like singing and piano playing. It's very strange. Witness.
It's really good.
Great movie.
So good. The Breakfast Club.
Good
I
movie.
don't like it.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's
Did you
adored.
dislike it, or you've never liked it?
I've never liked it.
Okay.
I prefer some of the other like Hughes stuff. I just think I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it because you think they're all very unlikable?
No, I just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, I just think it's kind of like a flat, boring movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Into the Night?
I never saw it.
Is that the one with Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer? I like that movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember really liking it. Desperately Seeking Susan.
Good movie.
I wanted to like it more than I did, but I should probably give it another try.
It's pretty dated.
Okay.
That's true. I like it, though.
Yeah.
A View to a Kill.
Not
Good
very
movie.
good.
Oh.
It's probably the Bond that Margo and I probably have both seen the most, right? Because it was always on TBS back in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely the
probably it.
Roger Moore one I've seen the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. The theme song's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silverado.
It's good.
Movie.
I like that one. Spies Like Us.
No,
Never
not
seen
good.
It's not good. Once Bitten.
Never
Twice
seen
Shy.
it.
Jim
I have
Carrey?
that on it. Yeah, Jim Carrey and Lauren Hutton,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Not great.
Mm-mm.
I have that on a Blu-ray with Love at First Bite, and it's been sitting in my DVD shelf for like 7 years. And every October, I'm like, "This is the year," and it just doesn't happen.
And then the last one is Legend.
I want to like it more than I do.
Same.
Same.
Yeah. I wrote an art. I just found this because F This Movie did an F This Movie Fest for 1985, and I wrote an article of catching up on the films of 1985.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, please.
Can I throw a few out there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll skip the ones we mentioned already. Purple Rose of Cairo.
Love.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah, I
a
wish I
great
could
movie.
still watch it.
Yeah,
but
I
can't.
know. Same.
Cat's Eye, which is really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rambo First Blood Part 2, which I think is the worst Rambo movie.
Yeah.
That movie was so popular. It made
Yeah, it
so much money.
Yeah, that was like peak Stallone. It was
Yeah.
like Rambo 2 and Rocky 3 the
Yes.
same year.
And
Yeah.
also
Or Rocky 4.
Brian Dennehy.
Yeah.
Brian Dennehy's in there, yeah.
Yeah. Or Brian Dennehy was First Blood.
Oh, is this the second one?
Yeah.
This was the second one. Because First Blood, I
Okay,
agree
'cause
with
I
you,
like
is
the
like
first one.
amazing.
Yeah.
I like the first one much better, yeah.
The Black Cauldron.
I don't know that one.
It's the Disney
Yeah.
animated one.
Mhm.
Not very good. Real Genius
Love.
Great.
is really good. This might be my favorite movie of 85, After Hours.
Very
Oh,
good
yeah.
movie.
So good. Linda Fiorentino's in that too.
Yep.
The Color Purple.
Great movie.
I liked it.
Hilarious.
The feel-good hit of the summer.
Back to the Future, of course.
Yes.
Great.
Clue.
I love Clue.
Death Wish 3.
Never seen it.
Mm-mm.
Probably the most fun of the Death Wish
Okay.
movies. Fright Night.
Great
Yes. Love that one.
Ran, the Akira Kurosawa.
That's a really good movie, and I haven't
It
seen
is.
it in a long time.
Never seen it.
Same. Yeah, it's really good. Reanimator.
Oh yeah, I watched
No.
that one last year. I liked it.
Return of the Living Dead.
I liked
Which is
that one
really
too.
funny. Yeah. Summer Rental. John Candy.
I love that. Yeah, I do like that one. I like John
Yeah.
Candy.
I miss those days where it's like 80s comedian. I don't know. Family goes on vacation. Like
Mhm.
there
Yeah.
was like 5 movies of those every year in the 80s.
Throw a camera and follow John Candy. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. The Sure Thing, which we mentioned.
Yes.
Great movie.
And To Live and Die in LA, which is unbelievable.
Excellent movie.
So good, and
Yeah.
I love the song.
Oh God, yeah.
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 did we-
What Wang Chung.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the top 10 songs?
Mhm.
Actually, let's do the top 12 because I like them all here.
Nice.
So this
Okay.
is February, I want to say 16th, 1985.
Yeah.
This is when the week the movie came out. All right, so let's go to 12 because these are all fucking solid as a rock. Start with Ashford and Simpson. Solid. As my friend Marguerite used to say, solid as a cock.
Solid as a cock.
I can never hear that song without that.
Now that's all I will hear as well.
And you're welcome. Sheena Easton, Sugar Walls.
I
That's her
love.
Prince era.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love that
I don't
song.
think I know that one. Or
Oh,
would I know it if I
filthy.
heard it?
Yeah, you would. It's
Okay.
filthy. It's great. Number 10, David Lee Roth, California Girls. Yikes. Don Henley, number 9, Don Henley, Boys of Summer, great song.
That's a good song.
Mm.
Number 8, Glenn Fry, The Heat Is On.
Oh my
Great
gosh,
song.
the Eagles all over this. Top
Yeah.
10.
Here's one for you. REO Speedwagon, Can't Fight This Feeling.
Such a slow 8th grade slow dance song.
Yep.
I'm surprised it was 85. I always picture that being like the first song that Adam and Eve heard.
Yeah.
Like, I just imagine that being like a song since like Stone Tablets.
Number 6. This is awesome. The Pointer Sisters, Neutron Dance.
Yes.
Awesome
That song rules.
Fucking
Yeah.
rules. Hall & Oates, Method of Love. METHOD of LOVEE. One of my favorites, Billy Ocean, Loverboy. Loverboy.
That's some yacht rock right there. I love it.
Here's some more for you, Sonia, my friend. Philip Bailey and Phil Collins, Easy Lover.
This song's the
That's
best.
a great song.
That
Go
song's
back
the best.
song. Love it. This is the makeout song of the 80s. Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is.
Total makeout song.
Mhm.
If you were into
Yeah.
that, which I was not at the time.
I was.
I was not
And,
making out with anybody when I was 14.
I probably got fingered to that song. Anyway, George Michael. Wham.
I die. Look at you, Mary Poppins.
I'm pretty sure. I found out what it is. Wham! Featuring George Michael. Careless Whisper, number 1 that week.
I love Wham and George Michael. So
I was at a minor league baseball game this week and somebody's walk-up music was Careless Whisper.
that there was an A's player that had that as their walk-up song, and it turned into a thing for a while. So every time he would, I think it was, who was it? I want to say it was Josh Donaldson, who now plays for the Blue Jays, but it was his walk-up song, and it was like the sax solo part.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, and the crowd went bananas for it, and like they would show on TV, they would always show the pitchers dugout, and like all of them would be like swaying and like bobbing their heads to it. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I love that as a walk-up song. More of that.
Really good walk-up song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad we finally did Vision Quest. It's only been on the list since the beginning.
This was fun.
It was super fun. Adam, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm at F This Movie, which is fthismovie.com, and I write articles every week and do podcasts, usually about once a month or so. So you could see me there. And then I also do a series of YouTube videos on a weekly basis called Reserve Seating. So you can find that at the F This Movie YouTube channel.
They're awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're doing an F, Marry, Kill for next week, which is like, which movie would you F, which movie would you marry, which would you kill? And we're doing a hodgepodge of the 4 Chris's movies.
Nice.
Which I think would be fun because there's like not a lot of big outliers in their filmographies.
Yeah.
They're all kind of like sort of in that middle. And then I'm on Twitter at Risky Adam.
And Margo, where can people find you?
You could find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at brooklynfitchick for Twitter and Instagram, and I'm at Margo Donahue on the TikTok.
And you can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok. And if you like dorking out, you can find us at Dorking Out Show on Twitter, sometimes Facebook. I try to check it, but it's also at dorkingoutshow.com. And you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. We'll send you some stickers if you would like some stickers. We got new ones. They're super cute. And we take requests, so you can email us your requests. And hopefully we'll cover it on the show. This was super fun.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for that Mary Poppins thing. I need to rewatch the whole movie again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I want to watch Mary Poppins Returns in a different way. I'm like, shit was going down behind the scenes.
Margo, you want to sing us out?
And I lied.
Thank you for bringing Morsi into this.
Lunatic friend.